So I was just enjoying my evening, enjoying my night, and then I remembered that some of you very politely reminded me in the comments section for my Human Centipede videos that there's a second one. Actually, there's a third one too. This is a trilogy, and Tom Six is planning on making something called the Human Caterpillar, so, we can only imagine what that's going to be like. The Human Centipede 2 is honestly way worse, and once again, I haven't seen this one, but based on what I've heard, in my opinion, they just represent just everything that is wrong with not only these movies, but the ideas behind them. This movie takes place in England because, England banned the first movie, so Tom Six has got to stick it to them. It's also in black and white because, of course, it is. And it is about a main character who never talks or never says anything because art. And he's watching the first movie, and the first movie being the awe-inspiring masterpiece that it is inspiring our main character to maybe try to do it himself. See, Tom Six was asked whether or not he thinks the first movie could inspire copycats. And so after hearing that question, he decided to make the second movie. The second movie, honestly, again, based on what I know, has even less of a plot than the first movie did. It's pretty much just the main character fantasizing about creating his own centipede, learning his really tragic backstory, which they do make it as tragic as they possibly can. I'll give them that. I probably couldn't even say all the things that happened to him on this app, but just know it's pretty bad. Oh, and an actress who is in the first movie, because we gotta have a hot chick praising the artwork, comes in, is just like, I just loved the Human Centipede. I was just so drawn to it, because, if you were a doctor, you could perform that surgery, which, first of all, I'm surprised that's what you took from the first movie at all. I love how every single time someone in any of the follow-ups watches the Human Centipede, the first thing they think of is, that surgery! How interesting! Follow for part 2. By the way, the tagline on the poster for the first movie was 100% medically accurate, which is not true at all. That has been debunked. So the tagline for this movie was 100% medically inaccurate, which once again is very ironic because, like I said, the hot chick that's got to praise the first movie is all like, if you're a doctor, like, you could perform that surgery, and that's just, like, so cool to me for some reason. Anyway, long story short, the actress becomes part of the centipede. Now, in the first movie, the centipede contained 3 people. In this one, it contains 12 freaking people. I could go into the scientific facts of why just none of this is practical at all, but suffice to say, this is not practical. It could never happen. That's what kills me, I guess, about these movies, is they act like, wow, like, so shocking. Like, what if somebody wanted to do this? And it's just like, even if somebody wanted to do this, like, actually wanted to, how would they really be able to pull it off? Like, it would just be impossible. Oh, and spoiler alert, it turns out at the very end that it was all a dream, and it'll be the one time you'll ever be relieved to see that plot twist. Honestly, the icing on the cake of all of these movies is Tom Six himself and all the things that he says about these movies. Like, he said that he believes that the Human Centipede 2 should be shown in schools because, it's about someone getting bullied and what to do about it, which, no, it isn't. It's just literally a guy who's angry and upset, fantasizing a sick fantasy where he gets to do disgusting things to people. And number 2, he's just so let's say, thin-skinned about criticism towards the Human Centipede movies. He also said that the whole appeal of the horror genre is that horror movies give the viewer the experience of watching other people get tortured while they sit comfortably in their seats, which I'm not necessarily a horror fan myself, but those movies, like all other movies, are supposed to be an immersive experience. Maybe some people like horror for that reason, but I'm gonna bet most of them probably don't. I guess I have to talk about the third one at some point now, because I've talked about the first two. Oh my gosh. I may start crying at some point. You may watch me cry.